Oh yes, you are back again. Thanks for coming back, because you know it's that Friday feeling, and this is the only place, Dad's RC Hangar, to get that Friday feeling. First of all, if you do follow my social media on Facebook, and you have my personal social media on Facebook, it all seems to be suspended. Don't know why. Some random Instagram account that doesn't even belong to me. It's the most hardest thing in the world to speak to Facebook and go, hello. Impossibility. It's crazy. So I do apologise anybody that follows the Dad's RC Hangar page and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully we'll get it sorted out, but we'll see. But anyway, that's not going to stop that feeling of the Friday. Oh yes, we are back in the hangar. Yes, the build, part 7, the Tony Nijhuis Harrier. Oh yes. Okay, so here we are at the bench, and let's see what's been doing out of videos, footage, you would say. So we have formed the back, so the back is nice and curved. Obviously I need to do a bit more finesse, and I did get a bit thin on here. Now I'll talk about what's happened here anyway. So I've just stuck a bit on, so I've got to sand that down. These are really thin, and I wish I'd have strengthened them inside, but I didn't. But however, on these sides here as well, if you can see, they're a bit spongy as well. They're a bit, you know, for my Nathaniel hands, you know, I could see me throwing that and breaking it. So I'm going to stick a slither of probably birch or something in there, just a brace, just to keep it a bit more strength, build strength up. I have got little slits. See, it's very weak there. See how weak that is? I don't think you can see that. It'll probably be out of focus because it's focusing on my face at the moment, but you can see that's really, really weak. So I think it would be great for some sort of strength for that. I am going to glass it, so that might bring up the strength. I don't know. We'll see. Inside, I have got little kind of like cutouts that I've got to stick in there for the, as most of you replied the other week, should I say, on the video, to say I should strengthen the inside where the servo's going. We can do that. That's not a problem. No, I still haven't hot glued the pipe. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to go for the maiden, and the pipe is going to fly out the back, because I forgot to hot glue it, and I need to hot glue it. I haven't cut the hatch yet. We've got the cheat hole here and the hatch. The reason that is I wanted to leave that to really almost the last moment, because it's strength at the moment. It's giving it strength because the cheeks, well, I like to call them cheeks, but the sides here are quite gentle. And as I say, I'm not the most gentlest person at building. In fact, I'm probably the totally wrong person to build a plane, but I love it. I love it. Now, we have done the battery. There we go. If you see the battery holder. A bit weird, because I always think about putting the battery down, but it's actually, the battery sits under there. So I did laser it out. Here's my little picture of my laser and the bits and pieces. And here's a couple of shots that when I'm sticking it in. Pretty cool. So now, one word of advice is that stick that in before you start putting the sheeting on the front, which I've done here. So, you know, because otherwise you can't get to it. And also, for anybody that's new out there that's doing this sort of stuff like me, leave the top two as the last two. So work your way around, leave these two as the last two. Mainly because I was stupid enough to leave these two, which have got this little curve. Really sexy. I really enjoyed doing that. Don't know why. It's just, it's got a form to it. It's almost like making clay, you know, you get into, I love it. Yeah. A lot of cutting, a lot of wetting, a lot of bending. Yeah. So we are nearly ready to get onto and build the front nose section, which we'll start in a minute anyway. There's not a lot to that, unfortunately, because time is against me, and it's really annoying, isn't it? I know. So the reason this is a bit wretched at the back is because I was very, very silly, and I used a saw. A small saw, my normal saw, if I can find it. Yeah, my little blade saw, and it is fine blade on there. You probably can't see it, but fine blade. But it still kind of ripped up the balsa, so it was a learning curve on that. And I nearly did it here, and I thought, oh no, don't do it, because it literally, as you saw, it's just crumbling. Maybe because it's at the edge. So hopefully I can, where we zoomed, oh there we zoomed in a bit. Oh my God, extreme close up. So what we can do here is that I've got a nice fresh blade, and I'm hoping that I'll get in shot. And I'm just going round very slowly. I'm in shot. And just cutting it, going round with the blade, cutting it around. In fact, I'm trying to take too much off, but once you get started, you'll notice it will go, I'm going a bit too low. You just need to go a bit higher than the glue point, because you're trying to cut for the glue. But there you go. It's almost like, you know, I could use like a David or something as well, I suppose. But because it's very thin balsa, you only look, I think it was at 2.4, did it work out the size, I think? Off the top of my head, I can't remember. Excuse me. You'd end up ripping it. So the best thing that I could find, obviously to the seasoned builders, this, you know, you'll know this anyway. But for the people like me who's just starting, really, this one where I had too much wood, and this was because I left these to the last. This is slightly bigger, so I'm just going to just do this rather than trying to cut it all off. Cut that off, and then I can go back to my sizing. I am going to be using well, I'm going to be taking out what do you call it? I don't know. I'm going to be using a lot of filler. Taking out, well, I can't, what do you call it now? I don't know, something. Market. Oh, see, now I've just ripped that at the bottom as well. Ah. I mean, you can see, just it's not there. Can see it? Never mind, it's all good. So I'm going to finish that and just cut that down and rub it down, because now it's time to do the front section, which fits on the front, which is the nose, which has the pilot and bits and pieces. And yeah, be right back. Yes, we've got a bit of frontal cam as well as a bit of overhead cam. Yes, why not show the old bolt race now and then, just to say hello. Yes. Okay, so if we look on the bench, we have we've got two FS1s. Sorry, over here, two FS1s, which are laser cut. If you are building off the plan and cutting your own balsa, then you need to cut that out, and it is FS1 on the plan. We've also got F4, and we have got F1, and of course F2, and lo and behold, F3. So these will be a part of the build that will go along like this when we put it on the jig. But for now, we need to set it up and get it ready. So I've just sanded down the little cut-offs that you use when you cut it out of the bowl, so that it leaves them little nibbles. And this is such a weird shape. It's flat along here, then it tapers in here, and all these they taper everywhere. They taper all over the place. You've got, you know, that be sitting down there, but then it tapers over on the edge. Lots of tapering. What could go wrong? And now we've got to put this triangle bolt. So you should have two pieces left. So I've just cleaned up. So I don't know where I'll put my. It does say in the plan anyway. So let's just mark that up. Now I'm going to go a bit over, because then I can sand it down, which I prefer to anyway. Rather be not too much. Rather be over than not, if that makes sense. So it's just like butter. Making sure I've got my timber at the bottom, because it will dull the blade. So a bit overhead shot's not always a good shot really, but when everyone stop getting shot. So this that should be my, and we've got another piece of triangle, so that would be the spare, and that's spare lot. I'll stick over in the box. Another piece of triangle for the top as well, but we start off with the bottom. Right, so I'm going to glue with white glue and pin it. Now trouble is, it is going to be quite hard to bend that, so much, so I think I'm going to use some pins to hold it in. Saying that, they're probably going to be bucket lasers. Not. Let me just run that across there, and then we'll probably just pin it in. So I want to get my pins out ready. Let me just use a bit of rubbish balsa just to put it in. I try not to put it on my fingers, mainly because I get stuck to everything. Engineering block. I'm going to stand for this. I'm going to use my engineering block, and I'm just going to diagonal. I get older thing. These are so diddy. It doesn't matter if it's going to make little small holes. I can fill them in later on. Not a problem. The only reason I'm doing this is because in a minute it will bend, and I want to put one right there because that's where it's. I could have probably sliced it to help it bend, but I didn't. Right, so now this bends here, right here. So, which is good, it's bending the way I want it to bend. But, you know, you may do it a different way. I did it my way. Right, okay, stick a couple more pins in. Pin, din, 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 din. I'm actually probably pinning it to the board. Huh. Oh! That was my head. Okay. Slightly needs a bit more on there, I think. There we go. There we go. So as you can see, that has followed the contour, and that will dry. So I'm just gonna, because we've got to do this other one in a minute, I'm gonna put that over there. I was gonna put some of these weights on there. These engineering blocks are great, they really are. Just to keep that down so it doesn't sort of spring around and everything else. Alrighty, so let's these should have dried by now, or at least dried enough to play around with. We're just going to take the pins. Oh, hello. That's the edge of the board. As I say, I've already got the jig under here. You can just see it here with the red and white. Yeah, these should be dry enough to pull all these little pins out. So I think if I do them, I don't want to go too close. So if I do them kind of every inch, hopefully you can sort of see what I'm doing here. Just going by every inch, because if you look on the picture that's on the website, the links are in the description, you can see they're about the size of one of these, I think, which is about an inch. So we don't want to go too mad, but there you go, that's worked out well. I don't know if you can see that, so it's got a nice little gap, even gap all the way. And I think I'll just do this. Just quickly do them on here so I can see them. Come on, there, here, over there, behind you. Where? Here. It's okay. The doctor says I'm going to be alright. There we go, right, okay. Lost me marbles years ago. Okay, there we go. So that's basically where I'm going to be cutting. So with the way we cut it is you just want to go, but you want to go in, but not all the way. You want to leave about a bit more than that, maybe. It's to help so you can turn it. That's all it is. So I'm probably going down probably to about a couple of mil, 3 mil maybe. That's what I did with the other one, and that worked out well. So I'm just cutting this down so you get the gist, and I'll just keep going across this one, across the other one, and then we're back to the jig. Yes, we've had another poop moment, an oh dear moment. Yes, trouble is today, it's been one of them days today where I didn't really get today off. I've been doing a lot of work from home, so doing bits and pieces, and that's the worst thing you can do. Because you get distracted. So this looks absolutely fantastic. We've got our cuts, as you've just seen, absolutely brilliant. And so is this one. Can you see it? Can you see it right? Can you? This triangle is meant to be on this side. This is the set inside of the fuselage, well, the front. So it's kind of meant to be like that. And I've let them dry. I've only just seen it as I was trying to put it in the jig. Oh, bumblebees. Oh yes, that is the only save. I've just had a save. And it can only happen because it's that Friday feeling. If it was a Thursday, we would be in trouble. Oh yes. Or maybe a Wednesday. Who knows? Anyway, what did I do? So this was stuck. I was able, if I can get this in focus, and I do apologise if I'm not getting in focus. There we go. I think we are in focus. With the knife, I followed the end of the triangle and just went down very gently with the blade, trying not to hurt myself, and then went deeper and deeper and deeper. And I found that this is a good thing about white glue, I guess, is that I found that even though it was dry and it was sticking, it was stuck basically, it wasn't rock solid. It'd probably take a little while longer. So I was quite lucky. The other one's just down here drying. I did get a bit of stuff left, glue and bits and pieces, but that'll all be rubbed down. And, you know, I'm sure we'll find a way of hiding the crimes. What a save. So, just remember, when you're gluing the triangle bit, for people that are a bit like me, just remember that one side's got to be on the floor like that, and the other side's got to be like that on the bench. Make sure you got the opposites. Why, as I say, I'm here, there and everywhere at the moment on the phone, and God knows what else. I should just stop and say, no, we'll do a live show. Or something like that. Well, there you go. Two sides, how they're meant to be. Yes. But I do believe we may have run out of time to do anything else, really. But before we go, someone said to me, in fact, a couple of people said to me, Chris, it'd be great if we actually saw this jet fly. The actual Harrier that Tony had built and obviously practiced in. So, here it is. Yes, and there you go, Tony Nijhuis Harrier, and he was flying it himself, and me trying to steal it off him at the end of the show, but he wouldn't let me. He told me to build my own, hence we are building the Harrier. So there you go, what a flyer. It was fantastic. Now, that was very windy, and it was very overcast. It's when the clouds are coming in, so the wind was really picking up. So he did really, really well to fly that as it was. And as you can see, it's very stable, it's solid, it's fast, and it's a beautiful, beautiful Harrier. In fact, mine, sorry Tony, will be better because obviously we're going for the camo, the winter camo or whatever it's called. I've forgotten the name of it now, which looks really sexy. And yes, we're going to have that. So I'm sorry if you watch this and to find out how to do lots of things. I think you found out today how not to do things, but that's good. That's good. I will carry on filming today, this afternoon, well later on this evening, should I say, because the jig is ready. And I'm going to start building that front section. So at least I can get that filmed and have a lot more to show you for next week for part 8. Yes, wow, part 8. Part 8 will be all the front finished and sticking it to that back bit. And then, so it's getting there. And then we've got the wings and then a few bits and pieces. So We could get it finished by this month, which would be fantastic. It's what I'm aiming for. We might even have to go for a double show towards the end of the month just to get it built and ready for a maiden. Because you never know, you get them sunny, calm days. Yes, it'll be cold, but it's sunny and calm. And we'll get out there and maiden. We'll do a maiden before we actually paint her and everything else. We'll seal her up so all the wood is sealed with some sealer or something. And we'll get her out there. Anyway, if you can get out this weekend, it is great weather for you where you are, then get out and have some fun, whether it be planes, trains, cars, boats, helis, quads, and everything that I might have forgotten. You get out there and have some fun, but if you do get out there, be safe, keep safe, but most of all, spread that RC fun, and spread that RC fun, and tell everyone about Dad's RC Hangar and the way he gives you that Friday feeling fun. Oh yes. We just love it. I really do. Anyway, if you can't get out, get back in a hangar, build a Harrier from Tony Nijhuis. Oh, yes. Fantastic. Anyway, thanks for popping by. And thanks for sticking around. Ta-la.